I think you need to be
1, 2.
like 16 years old.
Okay, take it. Once I switch mine off, yours automatically goes off. So you don't need to like turn it off. Yeah, it just goes out after a certain time. So in the museums, when we are outside, we'll be using this. When we're sitting in the bus, I'll be talking on the central microphone. Okay, that's clear. So in the end of the day, we'll see what we'll do. We'll probably leave it on the bus, your equipment. Yeah, so you'll be able to use it tomorrow as well. Yeah. Alright, so I'll switch mine off for a moment. So take the microphone.
So, доброе утро. You hear me well? Yeah, you can take your ears off when we're on the bus. I'll be talking with the microphone like this. Do you hear me okay? Yeah? So, доброе утро. Everybody, доброе утро. That means good morning. Yeah, доброе утро. In Russia, we'll talk Russian. So tomorrow I'll ask you. So tomorrow you greet me in Russian. Доброе утро. Alright, so welcome to Saint Petersburg. Welcome to the Baltic Pearl. I think it's going to be very bright impressions on your cruise. So once again, my name is Eugenia, and our driver Sergey, and we'll be taking care of you these 2 days. 2 days, the same driver, the same guy, but the different program. And this day we spent in the city. We have a very intensive program today, and we will start with the Hermitage Museum, the biggest in the world, 3 million exhibits on show, to see all, 1 minute per exhibit, from Monday to Friday, working hours, 8 years. No way, we'll do it much shorter. So you'll have an overall tour, yeah, so you'll have an overall impression, yeah, what it is like, yeah, so to share with your friends, to say that it's been checked, you know, on your list. And after that we visit one more church, which is a gem of Saint Petersburg, the Spirit Blood Church, having lunch after, visit Petersburg Fortress, the burial place of Russian Emperor's Yusupov Palace with the criminal story of the murder of Grigory Rasputin, and St. Isaac Cathedral. So it will take us the whole day. We'll be back by 5:30, 6 p.m. So depending on the traffic, depending on our fulfilling the schedule. So very active. And tomorrow I hope the weather will help us, but later on I will check the broadcast for tomorrow, yeah, as my sources say, yeah, and you will compare it with your cruise line prognosis. So hopefully it will be fine. Tomorrow we are spending some time outside in summer residences of royalty. Peterhof, that's a famous fountain park, and the Tsar's village, and visit to Catherine Palace with the famous emperor. Yeah, so tomorrow is more relaxed day. So today is intense, tomorrow is easier. Alright, so just a few rules. We are in a big city, and of course the touristic season, that's also the season for pickpockets, right? So please be careful for your belongings, cameras, your telephones, yeah, especially passports and documents. And if you worry, that's absolutely safe to leave your belongings on the bus. Our drivers are very safe, you know, they lock the bus all the time, and they're always with the vehicle, yeah, so they're always around. Maybe it's even safer. So all your pockets should be zipped. So please be careful, right? Because they're working so unnoticeable. Yeah, you just later on you notice where is it, you know, and it's gone. Sometimes even in the last season we're working in the Hermitage Museum. Yeah, people packed there in Rembrandt Hall, for example. Yeah, and they you can easily clean the pockets. Yeah, so please be careful for that. Tomorrow morning to leave the ship will be much faster because you registered already in the system, yeah, and you'll be just showing your passport and go. Yeah, so tomorrow that will be easier. What else? We have lunches included for 2 days. There are some rules in the museums. I will tell you, like in the Hermitage Museum, for example, you cannot carry water through. Yeah, no bottles of water. So drink on the bus before we go. What else? jackets, yeah, if they're a bit kind of looking back, they might ask them to check in, yeah, to check in their jackets in the cloakroom. But that's not a problem, yeah, because in every museum they have this cloakroom, so we won't waste much time for that. So also be ready that they might ask you. What else about the rules? So every time I'm here with you, so please, if you have any questions, you need a bathroom, I don't know, any other questions, so please let me know, yeah, because we're quite a big group, yeah, I cannot read your mind, yeah, so please talk to me anytime you need anything. So now we will also visit some souvenir stores, and it's also a good chance to use the free bathroom, yeah, and plus also to drink some shots of vodka, yeah, what they do, they offer tourists a cup of tea, coffee, and some vodka tasting, very, very little, just, you know, to weten your tongue, yeah, that also can be a little rest, yeah, on the way. Plus also we have Victoria prepared for you the little booklets, I'll hand them out now, and little maps of Saint Petersburg, so you also can trace our way. And with this little map and the registered gift show, they give you some little souvenir magnet or a keychain, something like that.
They charge for cameras in the Hermitage?
No, it's included. Only in one museum they charge additionally for cameras. That's Yusupov Palace. Yeah, that's $6 per camera. So if you want to do the photographing there, I select the money before we enter, yeah, and our agent, she will hand out the stickers, yeah. So it's there in the paid museum, all the rest, the photography is included. In some places, they do not let you photograph, like in Amber Room, for example, in Catherine Palace, but I'll let you know in advance. And also in the temporary exhibitions, yeah, when they have temporary exhibitions, they do not allow photography. I will let you know, but if you don't hear me well, the ladies in the museum will tell you, that you cannot do it. And also in many places, no flash, yeah, please, no flash. In the Hermitage Museum and Catherine, the rule is, I think, the same for everyone, except of Spilblatt Church. It's all mosaic there, so mosaic is not afraid, yeah, of flashes. So that's the only rules. So I'm passing it on. It's one of each per couple. Yeah, can you hand it over? Yeah, thank you. And also, dear guests, I have. Сейчас время скажу. 9:15. Часа, то есть давай нам сфинкс, что давай. Подожди, у нас 9:45 Эрмитаж, как нам удобно сфинкс. У нас Петропавловка еще.
После Эрмитажа?
Нет, после Эрмитажа у нас Спас на Грани. Потом у нас ланч, а потом Эмилия. Потом у нас это Суворовский. Потом у нас Петропавловка. Потом у нас
Короче, да. Что?
Ну смотри, 9:45 у нас Эрмитаж, да, значит там у нас уже полчаса. Может быть, нам Сабвей? Сейчас Невский стоит, еще обычно. Хотите подняться?
До Казанского доехали?
До Казанского? Да, кстати, давай до Казанского доедем. Отлично.
Что в нашу сторону?
Сфинкс в Казанском мы выйдем, да?
С водкой?
Да, зайдем, да, сфоткались, с поедем.
Just discussing the way what we can show you before we enter the Hermitage Museum. About photography we're talking. That's right. And of course, dear guests, we have to be together all the time. You have to travel as a group. when you come to Russia with 72-hour no visa entry, you're entitled to be under the licensed tour agency and the licensed tour guides. Yeah, so please don't lose the equipment. It's very helpful, really, because even if you go to the bathroom or you lose us in the crowd, sometimes you think you see me, but you just hear me. Yeah, because you can hear me for a very long distance. So please be attentive. I'll be giving the directions, where to go, where to turn, in case you lose me or got soaked in some masterpiece and want to spend more time or whatever. We will be having a meeting point, at every place. Yeah, so in case you want to lose the crowd or be on your own, I'll be very thankful if you warn me before. But even if, you kind of get wander on your own, we'll have a meeting point and a meeting time. All right. So in our group, since so many SPB tours are here, our group is 27 today, 27. So I'll be saying group 27, that's our signal for getting together. In case of rain, I have the raincoats for us, so probably, hopefully, and we won't need them, but I have them, in case it rains. So what else? So we're getting closer to the city center. We see the buildings getting older, so that means we're closer. And we are on an island. Saint Petersburg is having so many rivers and canals around and so many waterways. On one side it's Ladoga Lake, which is the biggest in Europe, and another Gulf of Finland, and 72 rivers and canals in between. So we are here having a lot of water. And this island, 42 islands in St. Petersburg, 42. This is the biggest one. About 2 million people are residents of this island. It's called Vasilyevsky Island, from the name Vasily, basin, Vasily. He was a right-hand general of Peter the Great, and his residence was here, so it was named after him. Beautiful place. Real estate is really expensive here on this island. The only problem, only 3 bridges connecting it with other islands, and it causes the traffic always near the bridges any time of the day. And so hopefully we'll be crossing it faster, so we'll have time before the Hermitage Museum to show you something. So about 8 million people live in the city, second largest after Moscow. Moscow, they say about 12. 8 million people, so of course lots of cars, lots of traffic, but a little less than in Moscow. And the difference between two big cities is tremendous. Moscow is located on 7 hills. It's very hilly, and it's like a New York. So to compare, many of you Americans, so like New York, because the mixture of old architecture and modern skyscrapers, all over. And St. Petersburg is like Washington, I would say, very open, a lot of open space, many monuments, many administrative buildings, governmental buildings that looks very triumphal, classy. And what we have here in St. Petersburg, almost the whole city center is under the patronage of UNESCO, because 15,000 historical buildings we have in the city center. So that's why it's like a museum under the open sky. 500 private cottages and palaces of nobility, 500. So it's really like a museum, even from outside. And UNESCO patronizing the city center, and we do not change, the look of the city center. Even if you do the restoration, rebuilding, reconstructing in the certain building, facade has to stay the same. And that's what differs St. Petersburg from any other Russian city, because it was built by a certain person. The idea belongs to Peter the Great. And he located it here. Sometimes we say, why not the Black Sea? Roma, very much nicer. But he needed to protect the borderline. Russia got access to the Baltic Sea during the war, Northern War with Sweden. In 1700 it started, lasted 21 years. In 1721 ended. And Peter needed to protect the territory. He wanted to build the navy He wanted Russia to become stronger, to be able to trade worldwide, to be able to travel worldwide. And for this, he needed people to come and to live here. So in 1712, he located the capital from Moscow to Saint Petersburg. And this was the capital of Russia until the 1921. After the revolution, great social October revolution that happened, and Vladimir Lenin was the leader of the uprising, of the revolution event. Lenin relocated the capital to Moscow because he didn't want to have connections with Tsarist Russia. And that saved St. Petersburg from massive reconstruction. So here we are, and on the right-hand side, you can see the river Neva. That's our main river, very important for us because it's a very important way, a Volga-Balt seaway, riverway route. You can go all the way down to Moscow. You can go down to Volga River and further down to the eastern parts of Russia. So that's navigable river all the way through. You can see the submarine, the Russian submarine is a museum, and look, that's a shipyard. And now you see what they do. They turn, this massive construction turns, it can get soaked in. They lower the ship inside, and then they lift it up. You see the docks are open there, and you see the submarine inside, do you? Yeah? So they do repairs, they construct submarines there, so that's a very massive industrial shipyards here in St. Petersburg. So the river, our river Neva, N-E-V-A, Neva, navigable all the way through. And when there is no ice, navigation season starts and lasts until the ice sets, until the November. You see the bridge, the first bridge over the river Neva. It's called Annunciation Bridge, built in the 1850s. It's a drawbridge. All bridges over the river Neva are drawbridges. At night, they open up at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's a very picturesque sight with such a massive construction, mechanical lifts in the air, and stays open until 5 o'clock in the morning. So you have to be very careful in summer season when you want to go out, because we have the bright nights here. You need to be really careful what side of the river you are, because once you miss, you're kind of stuck. Until the morning, and there is a round way, of course, but not everywhere. So you have to be very attentive. I usually check the schedule and we joke, you know, when the tourists see the drawbridges, they say, wow! And when locals see, they say, shit. Because it means you're not getting anywhere. You know? And if you're like kind of on the mainland, or what we call, where there are many other bridges that you can use, if you're stuck on Vasilevsky Island, forget it. Yeah, until the morning you're here. So you need to find a cafe or whatever, and just sit and relax. Or just sleep in your car, something to do. So you see the small cruise ships, like Ocean Majesty staying on the other shore, they can come here, dock in the river Neva, not more than 700 people capacity, yeah, the small ones. And for the biggest, we have this port, big port. And you know, the Gulf of Finland